and welcome back to another episode of So My Wife's a Witch,
a Bewitched Deep Dive Podcast.
Today we're back for episode 9, Witch or Wife.
Yes, it aired on November 12th, 1964, and was written by Bernard Slade.
Exciting.
So if y'all remember, and if you remember Madison, Bernard Slade, his first episode for us was The Witches Are Out, episode 7, which I loved. And so very excited that he's already back. And I love this episode.
Yes, I'm excited. We're getting to hear more about Samantha and Endora's lives as witches, and we're getting to learn more about what they were like before her time with Darrin. And I think it's a very fun episode, and you pointed out when we were watching that it's much more sitcom-y than previous episodes have been.
Yeah, like those tropes, right? Like seeing people and being like, oh, like I didn't want to see that one person, right? And all of but isn't that like how it is? Like you go somewhere, like you would think nobody from your hometown would be, and then there they are.
Right?
It's like, I was just talking to your mama the other day.
You're not expecting it at all.
No, so that's a lot of fun. Very situational comedy.
A lot of physical comedy as well.
Yes. And I think this is also the first one that we've had this many different like locations or set pieces.
Oh, and what wondrous locations they were.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Because there's like, I don't want to count, but there's a lot. You'll see.
The cafe in Paris, the fashion show, the dinner, the office, of course. We get to see Larry Tate's office.
Their house.
Yeah, their house.
And then the airplane.
The airplane.
It's insane.
It's insane. And the amount of extras that they have this episode as well to fill all of those spaces and have them on there. I actually should have paid attention on whether it was the same extras in the different scenes.
I paid attention to something, and I'm going to point it out, but we'll put a clip in there, of course. But I don't think I would have noticed it unless I watched the colorized versions because of the color they choose. But we'll get there.
Okay.
It's so funny.
Okay.
But like for real though, like this is such a blast of an episode and so different from any Bewitched episode that has come before it. So like, yeah, if y'all haven't watched this yet, like go to the Hulu, go to the whoever you find this Bewitched on and watch it because it is so much fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm excited to get into it.
Yes.
So maybe we should get into it.
I just hope we do it justice is all.
I think we will.
But yeah, you want to dive on in?
Let's dive on in.
All right. Oh, also, I might have some retractions. Some mistakes. Just one that one of our somebody commented on because episode 6 just came out in our world right now, and so somebody commented that because I said in my June Lockhart little deep dive that she played one of Judy's siblings in Meet Me in St. Louis, but one of the commentors pointed out that no, she does not play one of Judy's siblings. She plays a character called Lucille Ballard, who is one of the ones at the party that wants Judy's man that she's interested in.
Yes. And I feel like I personally failed you with this because or actually, maybe when we filmed episode 6, that was before Christmas, right? When we filmed it?
I have no idea. Yes.
Okay. And I went home for Christmas and watched Meet Me in St. Louis with my family.
Did you hate it?
It was interesting. I didn't hate it. I loved the costumes.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Judy in it. The premise was interesting.
The way it's sectioned, right, is very different.
Yes.
And
the house is gorgeous.
Yeah. It's not my favorite. But I'm going to blame it on that. That's why I made the mistake is because it's the one that I've seen the least out of Judy's collection. Because it just doesn't really connect with me. I mean, the only good thing is like her and Marjorie Main, who's in it, who was in some of her other movies, but she, of course, played Ma Kettle from Ma and Pa Kettle. Those fun like movies and stuff they did back in the day as well. So yeah, she's my favorite.
And I take it back. I didn't fail you because I hadn't watched it yet, so I really couldn't have helped you.
That's true. But wasn't that the Halloween scene so strange? Like it turns into like a 40s horror movie.
And you know what? To tell you the truth, I fell asleep halfway through it, so I don't think I got to the Halloween scene. I got to like the party that they have, and her sister do the little like dance and perform for everybody.
But the Halloween part is before Christmas.
I don't think this part was this part Christmas that I'm talking about?
Well, I don't know, but like majority of the movie, right? That's the big thing, like with the snowmen. You remember the snowmen in the yard?
I never got to Christmas. No, I never got to Christmas. It was still springtime, I think, or summer.
That's the most iconic part of the movie.
I fell right asleep. I was so tired. Whoa. The time difference, like the jet lag, got me in the ass this time around going home for Christmas. I was so tired. So,
not even Judy could pull.
Not even Judy, but like to be so for real with you, like musicals back in the day just can't compare to musicals these days. A lot of the times when they're singing or they have these big songs, they're just kind of like looking out the window and singing, and their facial expressions aren't really changing, and they're just kind of looking. Whereas musicals nowadays, you really see all the emotions on the characters' faces. Like try comparing that to Fantine and Les Mis. Like you really can't.
Wow.
Sorry. But
we're gonna about to fight on this podcast. Y'all about to see it.
The life of a little rich like St. Louis girl is very different from a prostitute in French and like during the French Revolution. But still, it's just a very different life. Sorry. Just to give you that like modern perspective on it that I know y'all are here for.
Well, I don't agree.
Respectfully. Anyway.
But yes.
So now we'll jump in to the episode.
We'll get all up in this here episode.
Yes.
So yeah, we open on Larry walking into Darrin's office, and he seems not his normal chipper self. And he's like, Darrin's like, okay, you ready? You packed? And we're like, what? Packed for what? And then we learn that Larry is, well, he says, yes, London tomorrow morning, Paris tomorrow night. So kind of like, I feel like we talked about maybe when we watched the episode together, like there's a layover. Mm-hmm. And well, we'll get to it later in the episode. But like time, maybe Bernard wasn't so good with like timing, and that's okay. Like you're still a great writer, and I'll forgive you for it because neither am I. But like yeah, we'll get into it. But like yeah, just know that like I missed this the first time we watched it, and he definitely, because he says London, like there's a layover on at least Larry's flight.
Excuse me.
To Paris. He's apparently going for a client to watch the yearly fashion show his client puts on. Yes. And he's just, he doesn't seem like he enjoys it, but not this year, especially because we find out that Louise, his wife, we met in Mr. Barker's episode 3, mm-hmm. Is going to come along, and he is annoyed.
He's not excited to travel with his wife, and we come to find out she's been asking for 8 years to join him on this trip. Yeah. And I'm like, if you're already going for work, why would you not take your wife with you? But they clearly don't have a very good relationship.
No, they don't. No. No. Well, she might seem like kind of like blissful ignorance, but he clearly like does not care about her whatsoever. We'll talk
about that when he outright insults her.
Oh yeah, I have it written down.
Yeah. Yeah, but in this scene, Larry goes, Darrin, you're my best friend. I wouldn't send my worst enemy on a trip with Louise.
Yes.
Damn.
Because Darrin's like, well, if you hate it that much, just send me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I think if Darrin were to be sent in your stead, Louise wouldn't go. Larry.
Yeah, right. She wants to go to Paris with her husband.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, but this is another unhappy marriage to foil Darrin and Samantha's. They love giving us these. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so he's like, okay, well, I guess like it's a good thing that you'll be here because I have a few things that need to be finishing. Like so I need to dot my I's, cross some T's, some loose ends.
Loose ends.
And then he's like, what's it, Susan?
Yeah, now, Susan, as if she's a soldier.
She's waiting outside the door.
Waiting for the code word. Yeah.
And then the camera moves to the door opens. This woman carrying like a whole bunch of paperwork and like a poster tube and like all this stuff like walks in, and it has this funny music like do 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 do. And she like lays it all down on his desk. He's like, "Thank you, Susan." And she leaves and shuts the door like she's a little robot.
And Darrin's like,
"Thanks."
Yeah. And then as Larry leaves, he goes, "Au revoir, tourjete," which I looked up. It's a ballet leap. So that has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, he's like, or whatever they say.
French words.
Well, I wouldn't have known, so I'm glad you looked that up.
I was curious.
I'm like, I wouldn't even know how to spell that. So. But yeah, and so then we get the theme song. And after this theme song, we cut to Sam in a robe and a towel in her hair.
And a little bit of like natural makeup. She's got some mascara, some eyeliner on. Like she's supposed to be freshly showered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so she's in their bedroom and she's holding, we've seen her wear it before. I can't stand this dress. Another dress I don't like. But she's laying the dress on the bed and then the phone rings. And she literally, like, it was so cute, like a little teenager or something. Like she like throws herself across the bed in this towel and the robe. And, because the phone's on her side of the bed and she's on Darrin's side of the bed. So she throws herself on the bed, answers the phone, like, puts her feet up like, ooh, hello.
Because I guess they had a dinner planned. Like she was getting ready to look all nice for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he, of course, he's calling to be like, Larry just dropped all this shit on my desk. Like, I'm going to have to cancel dinner. I'm sorry. And she looks a little sad, but it was weird. All she does is she's just like, bye, darling. Hangs up phone.
Yeah. He's like, you'll have to amuse yourself for a few days. And she's like, bye.
She's like, okay.
Okay, bye.
So that was a little weird.
Yeah. Not like okay, I love you. Like,
yeah.
Let me know if you want anything special when you do come home, or I'll have leftovers in the fridge for you or anything like that. Like, we assume he eats dinner at the office or something.
I don't know. Takeout.
But she eats.
He gets on Uber Eats.
Yeah, right? We assume he goes on Uber Eats and orders himself a chicken
and then
sandwich.
that's when we go into our ad for this week's episode. For Uber Eats. Could you imagine? That would be a good segue, though.
That would be a good segue. See, we're so good at it.
Sponsor us. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub.
Others
and other such things like that.
Yes. Yeah, but she eats a TV dinner, which I was like trying to look and see if I could tell what she was eating, and I didn't watch the colorized version, so you probably had a better representation of it.
Yeah. So after that, we cut to the TV. She's like pulled one of the chairs across from the TV and then has a little, I guess, TV stand, whatever you'd call them, that folds up, Yeah. And she's placing a TV dinner on the tray.
There's got like soup in it or something.
Yeah, there's something, but like TV dinners kind of started around this time. I should have done a little mini ditty on TV dinners. Would have been cute. But either way, she puts it down. But the first thing I noticed personally was like we have the two really nice like glass salt and pepper shakers on the table. And I'm like, honey, at least nowadays TV dinners are nothing but sodium.
Right? They're so salty.
You don't need any more salt.
Yeah, no.
But then the other thing I noticed was the coffee. I guess she's having coffee with her TV dinner, which I found a little repulsive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was like dark?
Yeah, she has the teacup, the coffee cup, because it's bigger than a teacup. So it's definitely like coffee, and then it was on a saucer, and then the salt and pepper, and then the TV dinner, and then like a little flour, of course.
Cute.
But yeah, so it looks like there's some vegetables and other stuff, but then it looks like the big like actual entree is like something a little more soupy, right? And then she sits down, the camera's head on, and she starts she twitches her nose and the TV comes on, and she flips through the channels.
It's interesting to me also that she has kind of romanticized this human lifestyle. Like she wants a normal human life, and yet for something so simple as flicking through the TV and like using because back in the day, would you use a remote control or would you have to go to the TV in order to change the channel on it?
I'm not sure when remotes came into play.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Either way, she was sitting close enough she could have turned up the thing.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I feel like when you romanticize lifestyles like that, like life on the prairie, you want to be fully immersed in it, so you would do whatever they would do. But the fact that she twitches her nose is like kind of contradictory of what she said she wants. Yeah. Which maybe is setting up the entire story of this episode. And then she holds up a piece of fried chicken.
Yeah, so that was what that's what I was gonna say next. Is like, because of what I was like, it looks soupy. I see no chicken on the TV dinner when she puts it on the thing, but then all of a sudden she starts changing the channels. The first channel she goes to is like a Western, and then while she's watching the Western, in her right hand in frame becomes a chicken leg.
Would you're like, that would not heat up well in a TV dinner.
No. I was like, wow, the TV dinners back then were nice. This was my first thought. I used to love, what were they called? Kid cuisines. Was it the one with the penguin?
Yeah, it was like blue.
Yes. I used to love those. But the corn always got in the brownie no matter what. Yeah. And so even if you didn't know it was in there and you heat it up and you eat the brownie, you would always get a piece of corn.
Yeah, weird combo, chocolate and corn.
But why do I kind of love it?
Oh, okay.
Like, I feel like I can taste it right now, and it feels like a very nostalgic flavor. Like, if I tasted that right now, it would take me back.
Simpler times.
Well, I just, for our listeners, I turned 28. Whoop, whoop. Toward the end of this last year, so I'm feeling a little old. Yeah. Yeah. As we do a Bewitched podcast, she holds up a chicken leg, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't want a Western." She changes it to a romance, and this guy just like attacks this woman on a chaise lounge.
They're macking,
and like just attacks her on her. And I'm like, "Damn, this stuff would not been allowed on TV, Samantha."
And she's just like.
Yeah, so but going back, yeah, she's okay using magic to change the TV channel, which is literally right here. She could change it. Yeah. But still goes to the effort, because at this point you would put a TV dinner in the oven because they're made out of like aluminum or metal. Yes. They didn't put them in a microwave, right? So she heated up the oven, put her little TV dinner in there, all that, right? Put a flour in a little thing and put on the TV tray. Why not just whip yourself up some food?
Right. I feel like especially because Darrin's at work, he's not going to be coming home. Now is the opportunity to spread your wings a little bit. I'll use the eagle comparison that Darrin uses later in the episode. Yes. Spread your wings a little bit and do what you want to do and enjoy this time alone. Like, make the most of it. Instead, she wants to be as miserable as possible, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's annoying because, again, she could have whatever food she would want. But where does it end, right? Like, if you're going to feel okay with, like, it doesn't seem like she has, like, she feels all this guilt, right, from forever using magic or whatever, especially in this episode. And then, but you're not going to not think about it at all for changing the TV channel. I'm just like, where does that line?
Yeah. I can't seem to figure out. And I wonder if they wrote all these episodes, like if the writers talked to each other or like read the episode before they wrote the next one, or if they were just in separate rooms writing them at separate times, because there doesn't seem to be like a through line of her journey with that, or a distinction between when she does and doesn't, like where she draws that line.
Maybe this is before TV shows had like a showrunner, right? Yeah. Because, her and her husband, like they were the whole whatever, and he directed all the episodes and like all this stuff, right? So like I guess he would be the showrunner, but like he didn't write in the episodes. Yeah. So I guess as of right now for this, we'll find out in my deep dive at the end of the episode more about this. But Danny Arnold, who wrote a few episodes so far, he's like the producer, and so I guess he might be the one closest to a showrunner. But yeah, that's interesting because, nowadays we definitely have like people who make sure these things make sense. And I guess they really have to now, since all TV shows are like 8 episodes. Right. So, and even that, sometimes they don't make sense. So.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting for sure. But anyway. Oh yes, and so then she goes to bed, and then do you see Darrin waking up in the morning and leaving her a little note, or maybe it's him getting back that night and like going to bed, and then she wakes up in the morning and looks for him, and there's just a note pinned to the pillow that says, "Good morning, darling. See you tonight, maybe. XXXX Darrin."
Oh, I wrote it down too. Well, first of all, why did it kind of bother me that he used like a full ass like clothespin, like one you would use for like an old baby diaper,
like a safety pin,
in the pillowcase. I was like, that would leave a hole.
Extra as fuck. And also the sound of him like piercing the paper to put it in there would wake her up. I just feel like, why not leave it on the pillow? But I understand for filming purposes, they're like, she has to pick it up and look at it, and we don't want it to fall off the pillow.
I don't know if Scotch tape existed yet, but that sounds like a tape moment.
Yes, 100%.
But it was so funny because like I wrote it all down, like, "Good morning, darling!" ! I love you with 1, 2, 3, 4 exclamation points. See you tonight, dash, maybe, and then the 3 X's, 3 O's, Darrin. But I thought it was so funny because I was like, is this just some random like PA or some whoever that wrote this? Because it's on screen, like she picks up the pillow, we cut to just a frame of the note, like, not moving. And so I'm like, okay, so they knew this was going to be on camera. Like, I think about those things. I'm like, who wrote this?
Yeah. Whose handwriting is this?
Because I think it would be really cute if it was actually Dick York that wrote it, right? So then because that's what I'm going to tell myself. I'm going to be like, okay, Dick York actually wrote it. I love the way he writes. His exclamation points are a little puny, but other than that.
Yeah, there's so many exclamation points and X's and O's. You wonder if he feels a little guilty leaving her all by herself.
Oh, of course.
But it's also like, it's sad because we cut and we see her playing solitaire by herself on the couch. And it's like, does this woman have 0 hobbies?
Right.
Like, other than the gardening we've seen her do and like the homemaking, is there nothing that she does for fun, or does she just wait around for Darrin all day long?
Well, they're still newlyweds,
so she doesn't have any children to take care of.
Exactly.
I see.
She doesn't have any friends.
Yeah.
She had Marshall.
Where's little Marshall's busy playing baseball,
but now Marshall and his mother have a new daddy, and they don't need anybody else.
They don't need nobody else.
They don't need anybody else. I have to say another Tom and Jerry reference, because it reminded me in those cartoons, right? Like that, when anytime there would be like a letter, it would do the same thing, whereas like in front of the screen, like freeze frame so we can read it.
Yeah.
And that's just the first thing I thought of.
Tom and Jerry.
When I saw the note like go full screen on the TV.
Yeah, 100%.
It was so
cute.
I love it. But yeah, so yeah, going back to her, like the next cut we see, she's in the living room. And she is playing solitaire on the coffee table on the couch. And I was like, I'm like, wow, she really misses Dick. Get it?
Yeah.
Because his name's Dick York.
Yeah. And also, she like wants sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we know they do that a lot.
They do.
They're newlyweds.
They're really into each other. And yeah, she's playing solitaire. And then we hear a voiceover of Endora giving her like a hint on what to do next, what card to play.
I said Endora criticizes her playing.
Yeah, she's like, move this here. It's obvious. Come on now. I would need Endora if I ever played solitaire.
I could never even do it. Like it's like with the one it used to be like pre-installed on your Windows and stuff with like Minesweeper and everything. Like I never knew, but Mama was so good at it.
Yeah,
she knew, and she loves cards anyway. But like I was just be like, oh, love that you could change like the picture on the card, and that's what excited me as a child.
Yes, I was more of a checkers gal than a solitaire gal. Yeah, personally.
Isn't that funny? Like even back then, like the craziest thing that we had as children was solitaire on Windows PC, and now. Not to sound even older.
They have access to all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Candy Crush.
How far we've come.
Not Tetris. Rest in peace, Tetris. I miss you.
I know she's still around. We always had the plastic like handheld versions too.
They discontinued Tetris.
What do you mean?
Like the original 1984 game.
Oh.
It's been... You can't like...
What about
Tetris branded things don't exist anymore.
Oh. What about Dr. Mario?
I don't know what that is. Is that another like shape matching thing.
It's like Tetris, but it's like pills.
Oh, with the colors?
Yeah. And you're Mario, and he has a PhD.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's called Dr. Mario?
No, I don't know. It ain't Tetris.
And so I love it. She's just like that kind of thing, right? Where she's just so absorbed and bored into her solitaire that when Endora says it, she's like, oh, yes, thank you. You know, just like it's her head, you know, out of her head.
Which happens so many times this episode where the character will just naturally be like, oh, and then realize what's happening. It happens like 4 times. It's so funny.
Maybe that's a Bernardism.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, so she like immediately realizes, oh, that was Mother. And she's so excited. And then Endora pops in behind the couch and she's like, whoa, like why are you so excited? And she's like, what? I can't be excited to see my mother? Like, what do you mean? It's so cute.
And Endora's like, oh, I knew this would happen. You're bored at home in front of the telly. Like, finito. Like, it's time to call it quits, all right? He's not treating you right. This is not the life you thought you wanted, and now it's time to end it. And she's like, no. I always enjoy your visits, Mother. You're always a ray of sunshine. And all of Endora's hand motions, she's like walking around the house. They're all so big and grand as she's like, all of this. And she's like talking about things and her hands are everywhere. I love it. She really fills a space. Like Agnes Moorehead, she knows how to fill the space with her energy.
Oh,
and
for sure.
You feel it in every scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which feels, very theater, right?
Yes.
Like I have all this space to work with, which is a little different in TV, right? Because of the camera positioning. Like you might have the space, but it can't be seen right now. But yeah, she always does such a good job. But yeah, it calls her a neglected housewife and like all that,
She ends up saying, just say the word and I'll take you away from all this. And then Sam says, good idea. But I'm like, why didn't you have Sam, you are a witch. You could have left for the day. You could have made lemonade with the lemons. You know what I mean? Like you could have gone out and done whatever you wanted, taking yourself to an arcade. You didn't have to leave the state. You could have gone into the city and done something.
She could have watched a Little League game.
Right? It's not like she is.
They're like, ma'am, you can't be anywhere near Marshall anymore. Like they have a restraining order against you, ma'am.
She could have gone and supported him at the game. Like she had so many opportunities of things to do, but of course she's not going to take her own, she's not going to have autonomy in the situation. She's got to wait for someone else to come and have the idea and take her out of it.
Exactly. But yeah, she Endora's like, really? She's so excited. And she's like, oh yeah, you want to, because Endora's like, okay, you want to go get some lunch or something? And Sam's like, sure. And so she says she knows like a place close by that they can walk to. The Cozy Have a Snack. And Endora is just repulsed.
Yeah.
She is disgusted.
She's like, what is that?
She repeats it. The Cozy Little Have a Snack.
Where would you like to go? We can go to the Cozy Have a Snack. It's nothing fancy, but it's not far from here. The Cozy Have a Snack? Oh, darling, you've got to be kidding.
Oh, good. And yeah, so she's like, absolutely not. And then Samantha's like, well, we can go into town if you don't want to do that. And Endora's like, girl, like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, you can literally, like, you have access to whatever you want and you're just sitting here. Like, so stupid. And so my favorite, Endora's like, well, what do you Sam's like, what do you think? And Endora's like, well, I know the perfect place on the left bank. And Samantha's like, the left bank of what? She's like, Paris. What else? The left bank of Flushing?
And this is the first time they mention like a local spot that you could find on a map. So I think we are in New York.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down. I was like, maybe finally a clue that they live in New York.
Yes, because Flushing, Queens. And then I immediately thought of Nanny. She was working at a bridal shop in Flushing, Queens, when her boyfriend kicked her out of one of those crushing scenes. So good. Anyway.
Do you not know the rest of the words? Or you just don't want to sing the rest?
I know the rest of the words,
okay.
but
Just making sure.
I didn't want to put y'all through that.
Let us know if you want us to do a nanny podcast next.
Please do, because I'm dying to do so.
But yeah, and so Sam, of course, doesn't want to go because of Darrin. She's worried about Darrin.
Right.
I'm like, shut up, Samantha.
Yeah.
Like, girl,
He's busy. He's occupied. You're sitting around all day, wasting your YOLO. Do they not know of YOLO?
Wasting your 10,000 year lifespan or however long witches live.
Right.
Like, I need the episode where, like, she realizes, like, wow, I'm going to outlive Darrin.
That's interesting because...
I need the existential crisis episode.
Yes. I didn't really think about it in those terms. Like, if she lives for thousands of years, what is a couple of mundane days in that? Whereas I feel like a modern day woman would go crazy having to waste that time.
Maybe that's why she doesn't care that much.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm going to have another husband after this anyway.
This is just what the Darrin chapter looks like.
Yeah. Her giant, like, puts it on the table. Dust goes everywhere, the book. And it's, chapter whatever, Darrin.
Yeah. Chapter 75 of 2000.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
But yeah, and then it's really sweet because then Endora's kind of takes them down some memory lane, right? And they start talking, and she's just basically saying like we don't do anything anymore together ever since you got married to him. And
she goes, now that you're married, what was once between us is no more, as if Endora's like an ex and Samantha isn't free to engage with her anymore, when in reality she is allowed to engage with her, just not magically. Like, that's not the issue at hand. But all of their whole entire relationship centers around magic, so it makes sense that this like blockade that's been placed in her life, separating her from magic, is separating her from her mother as well.
Yeah. Because like they used to do this. We know from episode 7 that they would spend a lot of time in France, right? He said like during Halloween, like they would always go to Paris or whatever to escape all the Halloween costumes and everything when Samantha was little. And so I like that in his second episode, he's still kind of connecting them, right? Because he remembers what he wrote, and saying, kind of incorporating this again and this memory of them having good times traveling together, right?
And I like that when they're at the actual bistro, it's not just talking about memories in France, because he does recognize that they've had thousands of years of history together. And so they talk about their like one trip they took to Italy, and then so he also talks about some history of them in Italy, and he's not limiting them by just talking about Paris and France. Which
is wonderful.
Yeah, good writing.
But I love too, like when she's trying to convince her, like we get some, like accordion, like stereotypical French music starts playing as we see Samantha remembering and reminiscing. And she's like, I'm just trying to be a good wife.
Yes.
Oh.
But it's like, girl, is he being a good husband right now? I mean, I understand it's his job, so he has expectations to meet and all that. But like, I don't know. Not coming home for dinner.
But like either way, and we'll get to it, but like still be able to be like, oh, I'm home alone. Like, okay, you and your mom go do whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not there. It doesn't matter. Like,
this is your life too.
Yeah, like I don't want you to be bored home alone by yourself eating TV dinners. Like, go do whatever, and then I'll see you when you get back.
Which I think he does come to at the end, that conclusion. But anyway, so yeah, the green screen of them traveling is hilarious.
Yeah, so Samantha finally agrees. Yeah. Right? She's like, okay, just lunch, but we'll be back right after. And okay. And so, yeah, then they stand up, and all of a sudden we see like, the old school whatever, like early invention of I guess at this time it might have been blue screen. But yeah, there's weird outlines around Agnes Moorehead and Elizabeth Montgomery.
And the resolution is completely different between the background, which is the house, which looks normal and pristine and perfect, and then them, who are very like blurry and out of focus, and the outlines around them are fuzzy, and we'll insert a clip for sure, but it's fun. And then they just zoom out.
Yeah, like they go away. And so and then we cut to like establishing shots of Paris, whatever free things they had. And it's so funny because if you notice in these establishing shots, they have the cars in the streets and whatever. The cars are like from the 40s. They're like ancient cars. And I was like, y'all, you couldn't get any like newer like anything. Like it's old.
Yeah.
And so I definitely noticed in this last when I watched it earlier today too, I was like, damn, those are not 60s cars. But yeah, and so then after the establishing shots, we go into a nice little cozy cafe outside with the chairs, and it's super cute. And Sam and Endora are having drinks. Looks like they just finished their lunch.
Yeah, their plates are like picked at, and then they have glasses of wine that are half full.
Yeah.
And the waiter comes over and they speak in French, and I think Samantha orders 2 coffees.
Yeah.
And then he asks Endora what she wants, and she says something else, but it doesn't matter because they never get the coffees.
No.
Or whatever they order.
Yeah, but yeah, it's super cute. Like they look so like happy and comfortable and confident at where they are. And yeah, and so we have extras, lots of extras at the little tables. They're like eating and milling, talking about things at their own tables, which is really cute. Smoking, and everything. So yeah. But yeah, and then they just start talking about again how wonderful it is to be together like this again, and you know, going back down memory lane. And then they're like, how long has it been since we've been here, like at this restaurant? And Samantha's like, 2 or 3 years. And so she's like, I think whatever food they got, she's like, I think it was better the last time we were here. And she's like, oh, you think so? And so then they start talking about a trip that they took on the Italian Riviera that we were just talking about. And she's like, oh, yes, the Count from Genoa. The Count from Genoa. So funny.
Lord Fredo.
Yes.
Like Alfredo. Which I thought was hilarious.
Oh, Bernard.
Oh, Bernard. You and your humor. You and your jokes. Yeah. And apparently he was begging Endora to fly him to the moon. And then he had a nervous breakdown halfway there. It was so funny because you get the sense like Endora's like, she's a hot commodity. Like she talks about Caesar and...
You know, she is a redhead.
She is a redhead, yes. And she clearly had a lot of fun back in the day, and particularly like talking about different men. And you get the sense that it's less of a mother-daughter relationship and more of like Endora misses her single friend that used to go on escapades with her, like around, like through the Italian Riviera and having lunch on the Seine, and it feels like a much deeper loss than just like a mother-daughter, but like a day-to-day companion to have in this lonely 1,000-year lifespan.
Yeah, and that's why it's like when she's saying that. Talking about the Count or whatever, following them all around Italy, I was like, wow, like Endora really had like a one night little fling with this Count, and then it was so good that he wanted more, and that's why he kept following them. And then the only way to get rid of them was like, she said he kept asking her to like go to the what?
Fly with me to the moon.
Yeah, and she's like, she's like, I agreed, and we were halfway there, and he had a nervous breakdown. So she like actually was gonna fly him to the moon, which is so funny. But yeah, I guess he didn't bother her after that again.
Yeah, right. Probably ended up in a mental hospital.
Yeah. And no telling how long ago that was either.
Well, yeah, they said 2 to 3 years ago.
But was that was just at the restaurant? The Italian Riviera thing was something different.
Well, they said the last time they were at the restaurant was 2 or 3 years ago when they spent the summer in the Italian Riviera. Like they popped over. Like he followed them all around Europe.
Fine. Fine. But no, and then Endora's like, she asked Sam, you know, like, don't you miss all this, like all the fun we've had and all of our adventures? And Sam's just like, not really.
Other things make up for it.
And I'm like, girl, the dick cannot be that good. Right? I'm sorry.
Right?
It can't be. Especially the way we've seen them interact in their relationship. I'm like, no man can be worth it. Sorry.
Yeah, to be able to travel wherever you want and go wherever you want and live this life on your own terms.
Yeah.
As a woman in the 60s, like giving all that up to be a housewife is unimaginable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Ay.
So anyway.
But yeah, and then Endora's like, okay, well, this was nice. So are you ready to go to the fashion show?
Yeah. And Sam's like, I have to get back and do laundry. And then Endora somehow convinces her to leave it.
Yeah, love, she said, no woman, witch or mortal, can leave Paris without buying a dress. It was, oh shit. It would be a betrayal to our whole sex.
On to the fashion show. No fashion shows. I left a whole pile of laundry on the ironing board. Oh, now, Samantha, no woman, witch nor mortal, ever visits Paris or leaves without buying a dress. It would be a betrayal of a whole sex. Let's go.
So cute. And so Sam finally relinquishes because she's clearly enjoying them spending time together and everything. And so she agrees to go with her to the fashion show. And so, yeah, then we cut to the fashion show. Yeah,
and we see Louise and Larry sitting there watching the fashion. And there's
well, first of all, I have to point out. I said, cut to a fashion show, if you can call it that. It is so ugly. The fashion on display is ugly. The room is decorated. I'm like, is this what they thought Paris looked like? Like these set decorators, the curtains are awful and hideous. I was just like, I hate everything on display in this scene.
Yeah, I feel like the two-tone of black and white, how I watched it, I'm paying less attention to all of the things in the background, like the curtains and such. I'm more focused on the movement of the people.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels more like a salon than it does a like fashion show, right? Like it's not with a single runway and people seated all around. It's more of like a room and with a like stage that a model will step onto, and then someone else is like helping her step down again.
Well, either way, that number that she's stepping down in look like a tablecloth and not in a good way. But this is the scene that the colorized version helped me notice this person too, speaking of background people. But so the camera moves over through the room and then lands on Larry and Louise sitting on a little couch thing, love seat, and Louise is so excited. But on the camera's way to them, there's some people over here to the left of the screen, but to their right. And there's this man with this the most insane hairstyle. We'll put in a picture or a clip for sure. But the way it's like looks like Justin Bieber hair mixed with the one who shall not be named hair as well, like whipped to one side. It was huge, and then whoever did the colorization, they made it the most like Fred on Scooby-Doo yellow you've ever seen. And it just didn't look real, and I was like, why did they choose that? But yeah, it was like it stuck out, of course, so that's why I noticed him, because they dyed it like the most crazy yellow
that's insane
ever. But yeah, so Louise seems to be having a wonderful time, and of course Larry isn't, but he has to be at the fashion show because it's put on by one of their clients.
Yeah, and Louise asks Larry if he can imagine how beautiful she'd look in that dress, clearly setting him up for a compliment.
Yes.
And then he goes, the packaging can only do so much for a product, dear. Clearly insulting her looks and how she wouldn't be able to pull off the dress. And she goes, oh, you always thinking of business. Which I'm like, does she not understand that he is insulting her? So also the writing is insulting her intelligence.
Yeah.
But also the fact that she is able to just brush it off and move on so quickly. Like, what kind of world is she living in?
Well, you know, Madison, she is just a woman.
So how could she understand the hidden meaning in his words?
No, yeah, he's so shitty. But yeah, because that was the energy, right? She's like, oh, Larry, you're so funny. And it's like, girl, you're in an abusive relationship.
Literally.
But you know what it reminded me of too? Like the first thing I thought about was how Marie and Frank are on Everybody Loves Raymond. Like they always insult each other so bad. But in that case, right, Marie gives it back just as hard as Frank does.
They're evenly matched.
Yeah, but in this case, poor Louise is just like,
yeah. Oh, Larry. Yeah. And then Endora and Sam walk in, and they're wearing these gorgeous hats.
Yes, which we didn't mention. Samantha, and I like Endora's too, because the costume department was really good with still like kind of giving Endora like this older world style, right? But it's still stylish. But they look incredible. But yeah, they're both wearing these huge like French hats, right, at the bistro, and then here at the fashion show as well.
It's so cute, and they're looking around and they're complimenting the outfits that the current model is wearing, which is like this sparkly top number,
which is
like
cute.
Yes, which is cute. And then Samantha says something about how Darrin's jaw would fall to the floor.
No, she said, Sam's like, oh, I love that dress. And Endora's like, oh, you should get it. And she says, if I wore something like that, Darrin's eyeballs would fall right out of his skull.
And then Endora says, I doubt he'd know a Dior from a gunny sack. A gunny sack is a burlap bag, by the way. And then Samantha says, that's not very nice. And then I thought, would he know the difference? Like, he's just a man. He doesn't, how would he know fashion? And so he studies these fashion designs, and he would definitely know the difference between a Dior and a gunny sack. And so I'm like, yeah, put some respect on his name, Endora. Jesus.
Well, she doesn't know his name.
That's so true. What does she call him later? Donald.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yes. And so, so they kind of look around, and then Sam spots Larry and Louise. And of course, more amazing face acting all throughout this episode. But Elizabeth Montgomery's, thing. And then, she immediately grabs, of course, the big hat to try to cover her face. As she keeps telling Endora, she's okay, we have to go. Like, I'll explain later, because Endora's like, what's wrong?
She like spins around to go, and then Larry like jumps up from his seat to find her.
He sees her like almost immediately, and he's like confused, right? But then he's like, wait, what? Samantha, is that you? And which he's clearly happy and excited about, right? Which is why he invites them to dinner later, because he doesn't want to be alone with Louise.
Yes.
Which is terrible.
And I thought it was interesting how in a room full of people where everyone's attentions are on this beautiful woman center stage wearing a sparkly gown, he somehow manages to notice little Samantha standing all the way over there. Like, that's just her luck, right?
Exactly.
And that's also part of the reason why this episode feels very sitcom-y. Like a lot of the situations that they get into, you feel like they could have easily not gotten into, but then you don't. But then you don't have the episode, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So he's like, oh, come over here, like, Louise, look who it is, and introduces. It's just so good, because Sam is just blown away, right? She's like, why, how, right? Like, I do this one thing and I get in trouble. Like the one time I cheated in school and immediately got caught.
Yeah, right. You're the last people I expected to see.
Yeah, it's so good. And again, Agnes Moorehead's face acting is also incredible. This. And then finally Larry's like, well, who is this, your charming companion, and Samantha's like, who?
So good.
She says, who? And he's like, right, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, yes, this is my mother. And then, of course, she blames her mother for, like, because he's like, why are you in Paris? And she's like, oh, she made me.
Yeah. It's her fault. I'm here.
Yeah, she says that she's the one that wanted, like, she was going to go anyway, and that she convinced Samantha to go with her and everything. But either way, Louise seems delighted to see Samantha, and of course Larry is very delighted. And then that's they invite them both to dinner later that night as well.
Which, it was funny because, like, they could have easily gotten out of that. They could have made some excuse about, oh, we already have dinner plans with an old friend, or we're seeing the opera, or we leave tonight. We got here, a couple days ago. But instead, they end up going to dinner.
Because Darrin's been so busy with all that work that he didn't have the time to tell Samantha why he has so much work all of a sudden, which is because Larry left. All he had to do was do that, and they could have went anywhere else than Paris and all of this, or else we wouldn't have had an episode, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's why their conversation over the phone was so short.
Yeah. Which I love, though. He's like, they're immediately, or I think it's Louise. Yeah, she's like, how did you get Darrin to agree to let you go to Paris? Like, they're so shocked because Larry's also like, well, he knew I was going to Paris. Why didn't he say anything to me that you were going to be here too? And they're like, oh, I guess it slipped his mind. And then that's when we learn from Louise that it's taken Larry 8 years to finally let her go to Paris with him. And she's like, oh, it's just, they barely talked about it. Look at that, Larry. And it took you 8 years to take me with you, which is so cute.
I also wrote down, because they say that they are staying at the Plaza Athénée, famously 5-star hotel.
Is it real?
It is real.
Okay.
I looked it up. A night in today's dollars would be $3,500 for a 2-person bedroom.
That's nothing.
Easy. Yeah, 3,000 euros. $3,500. And I'm like, if he is that rich to be able to afford that for their entire stay, like, why did he not bring his wife to Paris before? It just seems,
because apparently, and again, we never see this, but for some reason he finds Louise so unbearable to be around, and especially in episode 3 we see that kind of as well, where he's like, oh, like he's like, bring your wife a drink, Tate, like what? And we never see, like, she's not annoying whatsoever.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
She's so lovely. Like, they could have made her be a little kooky, right? Like Gladys or something, or give her some weird personality trait, but they don't. She's a completely normal, delightful human.
Yes. And Larry even says, I can remember weeks when we didn't talk at all. And I'm like, this is sad. This is making me sad. And this is funny. I guess this is supposed to be funny back in the day. Yeah.
Bad marriages. Or what's Bernard saying about his own marriage?
Oh, yes. Is self-insert. Do we think Larry is his self-insert?
Maybe.
Or is Louise his self-insert?
It might be Louise. But yeah, so cut to dinner, and they're in this beautiful dining room, which again, like we said earlier, the sets are wonderful, especially this one. Like, it seems big and like lavish and like whatever. And I'm like, wow, they spent a lot of money on this one. But yeah, so they're there and they're all at the dinner table, and it looks like before, they start the scene, like Endora's having a great time with Larry, especially. It was so cute, like their little interaction before the lines start and everything. But either way, all 3 women look incredible. They've all changed for dinner. And Samantha especially, I really love her dress as well.
I wrote, Sam looks fabulous. Her hair is beautifully done. It has a sort of bounce and shape to it that I feel like her hair always looks good, but especially this time it almost looks like she got a haircut. Like, it just looks so bouncy and full. And then her dress is so cute. She has this little like wrap on as well over around her arms.
And I think in the colorized version, at least, they make it the wrap is like this deep, like royal purple. It's absolutely stunning. And then also, like, looking at Louise's dress, it looks like the one that Sam said she liked when they walked in.
Yes.
I believe so. But yeah, so they're talking and everything, and still talking about, like, I just can't believe, like, you're here. Like, this is just so crazy, like Darrin wouldn't want us to not take care of you while you're in Paris, right?
Yes,
still being like, no, stay with us as long as possible. I don't want to be with this bitch alone. No. Which is so sad. But yeah, so Sam excuses herself from the table.
And she scowls at Endora the entire time she walks past. She's just giving her mother the death glare for getting her into this situation.
Exactly.
And then Larry says, Samantha's not acting like herself. Which might have to do with how quiet she's being. She might seem like nervous. And someone in our Bewitched Bibles pointed out, like, how well does he know her? We've only seen them interact once, but I feel like they might have interacted multiple times between episodes. Like, these episodes are just like a snippet a day.
Exactly.
And like between weeks of time. So
little glimpses into their lives.
Right. So he might actually really know how Samantha acts normally. And
yeah. They might have had a whole bunch of dinner parties with that random maid from the 3rd episode. Like,
right.
You never know.
You'll never know. And Louise said something about how they're newlyweds and this is her first time away from her husband. And Endora goes, I imagine she's very lonesome for Donald. And then they're like, who?
Louise is like, you mean Darrin? And she's like, do I? Or whatever. It's so good.
So good. And I love that scene because we have this long-standing joke where she always says the wrong name when talking about him, which, like, is she aware of it? She clearly is aware of it, or else she would end up saying Darrin at some point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the D names, she's very quick to not say Darrin, so she has to know what the wrong answer is in order to figure out what the right one.
Yeah.
But we as an audience have seen her make this joke over and over and over again, so we already love it. And then to see two characters who have no idea what's going on react to it is just peak writing.
So good.
Really good.
And yeah, so then Larry's like, oh my gosh, like we should call him. Like he's going to think this is so funny. And then like he'll want to know that she's with friends. And so we need to get a phone over here. So he's like, Garzon, give me a phone to the table, you know? And also that sounds expensive too. Like making from a restaurant,
yes.
Bring a phone to my table and then let me make a long distance phone call.
I looked it up.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
I will also say Endora does try to stop the phone call from happening.
She does.
Yeah. She says like, she would, like, I wouldn't do that. The time difference. And the time difference is like 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, I wrote that down too because it was interesting because we know that she's not, well, at least she wasn't very happy with this marriage, right? Yeah. Early on. And so I wrote, I was like, that's so interesting because she easily could have been like, oh, yes, let's do it, you know, and try to get Samantha in trouble, right? And try to break them up. But she doesn't because, again, she actually loves her daughter and she wants her to be happy. And I just feel like, in something like today, which hopefully they wouldn't, I was going to say if this was made today, which it's going to be remade, I feel like that could have been something easily, right, that they could have fallen into, is that Endora just turns into this generic, basic kind of villain / whatever character that she's just sitting there trying to get them break them up the whole time, right?
Yes.
Like Mulan 2. Remember Mulan 2?
Oh, is it his mom that's trying to break them up the whole time?
No, Mushu.
Oh, Mushu's trying to break them up?
Trying to break.
I haven't seen Mulan 2 in forever.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
I did. I liked it better than the first one when I was little. But yeah, so Mushu's trying to break up Shane?
Shane?
No,
definitely. Is it Shane?
The man and Mulan. Trying to break them up.
Shane is the most
Shang?
not Chinese. Oh,
I think it has like a G on the end or something, isn't it?
I think it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I don't know.
I'm looking this up right now.
Either way.
Sorry, Seth. Pause for the cause.
Beefcake.
Beefcake.
Yeah, he's a beefcake.
Oh. Shang. Yeah.
Shang.
Okay.
Shang. Anyway,
Shang.
But I'm glad they didn't do that with Endora, and she's just like, no, don't do that, don't do it. She's like, saying, yeah, like, well, he might be tired, or you know, like the time difference, and Larry is like, oh, it'll be fine, right?
I did write it down though because I was trying to figure out the time difference because they're like, let's say he normally leaves at 9, right? He catches the 9 o'clock train, and let's see if he like left earlier and Samantha woke up earlier and then got dressed and goes down and is playing solitaire. Like, let's say Endora pops into her living room at 10 a.m. Okay. And then they go over to Paris. It's a 6-hour difference. So it's like 4 p.m. that they're having lunch. And then maybe they get dinner at like 7. So it would still be definitely like midday back in New York time for Larry to want to call Darrin. And it's a work day, so he would call him at the office, not at the house. But he calls him at the house.
Yeah, but he says, like, when Endora's like, oh, I don't want to, like, I don't think that's a good idea. He says, like, what time it should be.
Yeah.
Like, he does justify it. Bernard puts it in there of, like, why he called them at home instead of the office, which I thought was interesting that he put that in there. Because he's saying that it should be early there. Yeah, right?
Yeah, he says it's still early there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Anyway, so, I wrote down how long it would take for the phone call.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to be swimming in money to make all of these long distance calls, because in 1964, for an average 3-minute phone call, it would cost somewhere between $3 and $12 to call like overseas. And then if you're having an operator assist you in the call, it could cost up to $50 back then. But nowadays, so to adjust for inflation, just to give you an idea, it would be $400.
Damn.
Which is so incredibly expensive. You're like, why would he want to make this call? And then he calls them at the house and then decides to call them at the office.
Both with operators.
Right? So that's so ridiculously expensive. And they clearly must be like swimming in money to be able to do this.
Thank you for looking that up.
I know. I was so curious about it.
That's so crazy. So he called, right? He gets the phone over, and then we cut to Darrin and Samantha's house, and Samantha pops in the living room, and she's just so worried about Darrin, and her going behind his back and doing these things, right? And so she picks up the phone and calls him at the office, and he answers, and she's like, "Oh, hi, honey. Like, when are you gonna be home tonight?" And he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be late if I get there at all." And we see him, and his hair's all messed up again. He's all disheveled. And yeah, she's like, okay, so that makes her feel better, I guess, right? So she has a little extra time to get out of it with the Tates, and so she's like, okay, bye, and they hang up. And then as soon as the phone hangs up, right, it rings again. And I'm just guessing instinctively, right, she's just, the phone rings, I pick it up, right? She answers the phone immediately, maybe thinking it's Darrin or something else. She's like, hello?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
This is Samantha.
Samantha?
Yes, who's this?
Is this 555-7328?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Larry Tate is calling you from Paris, France.
Oops.
And cut back to the restaurant. Larry's talking, and he's like, who's this? And she's like, Samantha, who's this? And he's like, what? And then all of a sudden, we just hear the operator talking, right? Yeah. And I'm like, why wouldn't, sure, the phone quality's gotten better over time, of course, but like, why wouldn't she recognize Larry's voice over the phone?
Right. Right. And the operator like confirms the phone number and is like, this is a Larry Tate calling. And
Samantha's like, ooh.
She's like, oops, and hangs up immediately.
Yeah.
And then it cuts back to Larry in the restaurant. He's like, I thought it said Samantha. They're like, what? And he's like, let me call I gave him a mountain of work to do. Let me call the office. And so then he calls the office, and Darrin answers. And they're like, you'll never guess who we ran into. Samantha. And Darrin's like, Samantha. And then it cuts back, and like Samantha's like entered the dining room again. She sits down at the table, and they're like, he thought he got Samantha on the phone. She's like, what? That's so silly. And then he like hands the phone to her saying it's Darrin. And you can hear Darrin be like, Samantha, what? How did this, when did this happen? And he's freaking out. And she just like takes the receiver and she's talking to him, and it's hilarious to watch her like hesitation to take the phone, and then she's smiling and like hiding how she's freaking out on the inside, and just seeing her acting like everything's fine. Oh, great, darling. Yes. And she's not responding to anything he's actually saying.
Yeah.
Go on, Samantha. Darrin's on the other end.
Oh, Sam, where? How? Where are you right at the...
Darrin? Oh, hi, darling. It's Samantha.
Which is also a fun trope in a lot of their stuff, right?
Yes.
But I love that too. And like Endora's just right beside her being like,
oh, yes. So nice. Great idea.
And then, so after she's like, okay, darling, I'll see you later. And he's still talking like, what's going on? You know? She hangs up the phone, and he's like, Larry is like, oh, was he surprised? And she's like, oh, yes, he was surprised.
And Louise is like, that must have made his day. And I'm like, would it have made his day? Even if it was, sure, I guess them like running into each other and calling your spouse long distance to just say that we ran into each other. But it all just seems like unrealistic for them to make this phone call. Like me, even when I have been on vacation abroad, I'll like email people every once in a while. Email. They didn't have email back in those days, but I wouldn't be calling people because that's expensive. So it just doesn't seem very realistic for them to be doing this. But again, it's a TV show. I'm suspending my disbelief.
You know, we said we really liked Bernard and his episodes, but we're like criticizing it a lot.
Kind of criticizing it a
realized.
lot. We are, but it's good writing.
It is.
I think that both can be true. I think I can like it and enjoy it and also be able to be aware of how ridiculous it is.
And I think we can both and all agree a hell of a lot better than the previous episode that had 2 writers and came up with that.
Yes.
So,
respect on Bernard.
So yeah, very happy to see his name pop up. But yeah, so super cute. And then after that, we cut back to the house and Darrin is sitting on the couch smoking and drinking something, which is kind of fun. I just thought about too, like the same placement and camera and like angle of where Samantha was sitting playing the solitaire, and now we have the reversal of him sitting in the same spot being lonely without her, which is interesting. I wonder what they're trying to say.
Yeah, I wonder what that means.
But yeah, so he's doing that, and then Sam pops in beside him on the couch,
and he doesn't jump. I expected him to like jump, but he doesn't jump. He's cool as a cucumber. He just kind of looks at her.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "I'm doing just fine." And then she's like, "Have you been drinking?" And he's like, "Sure."
Just to put things into perspective.
Yes.
Just enough to put things into perspective. And she's like trying to explain herself very calmly of kind of what happened, right? And how it spiraled into them seeing the Tates. And again, if I were her, I would have been like, "Well, bitch, you didn't even tell me that Larry and Louise were going to be in Paris. So how was I supposed to know anyway?"
Right.
Just saying.
Right. Where's the communication?
Yeah.
But he's very like level-headed about it. He seems very calm, cool, collected. He's like, "Yeah, I know. I mean, it's my own fault. I should have realized." And she says, "Realized what?" And he says, "You can't expect to pluck an eagle out of the sky, clip its wings, and you know, comparing her experience as a woman to that of a wild animal is an interesting choice."
Well, I don't know if it's just as a woman, but like as a witch as well.
Yeah. But still like a person with hopes, dreams, desires.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting trope, I feel like, in media, of men comparing women to birds and chipmunks and little woodland creatures without like that are there to kind of decorate the forest or the skies and not have actual goals and desires, like not being bored all day playing solitaire and waiting for your husband to come home. You know?
Oh, I saw because like they clip its wings and expected to have a smile on its beak, and so I just like pictured in my head like this bird like with an upturned like beak, you know, with like a tear running down its face. Like that's Samantha. But yeah, so she's just was like kind of freaked out that he wasn't mad, right? And she's like, she apologizes, right, and still tries to keep trying to explain herself.
And he like gestures to the house and says, "This is a poor swap for Europe." And like, yes, it is, which is why you should be fine with her going and getting a change of scenery every once in a while. You get to go into the office every day and drive and take the train into the city. Like your day has a lot more color and different texture to it than hers does.
Does she have a Chevrolet?
No.
Does she have a Chevrolet convertible that she drives around in? No. We never see her have a car of her own. Does she have a driver's license?
All she knows are these 4 walls. She doesn't have an opportunity to leave the house during the day as in her housewife capacity. So like, let her go to Europe. If she has the ability to go out and go to Europe, go to Europe. She's going to come back home to you at the end of the day because she misses you and loves you and this is where she wants to be. Yeah. But like, who cares?
Exactly. But she just keeps trying to assure him that that's all she wanted was she just wants to be a normal housewife. And and he's like, "Oh, well, I can see that." But yeah, and then like he blames himself for her actions, and he's like, I hate when people feel sorry for me. And she says, well, especially when you're doing such a good job of it yourself. And I was like, oh, shit.
And stop trying to spare my feelings. If there's anything I can't stand, it's anyone feeling sorry for me.
Especially when you're doing such a good job of it yourself.
Get him.
Girl. Damn. Samantha.
He also says, you can't take a beautiful witch in the prime of her life and expect her to hang up her twitch. And I thought that was cute.
It's good.
It's her little twitch.
Tipsy Darrin is fun.
He is fun, but he feels so sorry for himself.
Yeah, and that, and so after that, she's just kind of like, well, like you kind of said, right, like all you wanted to say, and she's like, well, you got what you want. Like, because
I wrote it down if you need.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, he goes, she like turns on her heel after dropping that mic, and he's like, where are you going? And she says, back to La Dolce Vita. And then he like yells after her, and I guess when she leaves like a bunch of wind, she conjures a bunch of wind to blow in his face, and he's just like,
and then goes cross-eyed after it stops. It's so funny.
Yes.
But yeah, she's like, I'm just giving you what you want. And then she goes away.
I'll talk to you later when she's sobered up. But yeah, you pointed out when you were watching that the face he makes looks so much like Jim Carrey.
So good.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. It's funny.
But yeah, and then cut to Darrin pacing in his office. Larry walks in, and then that's when we learn that he left Louise and Sam in Paris. And Larry is clearly very happy to be rid of Louise and is very grateful that Samantha was there so he could pawn Louise off on Samantha
and go back to work.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. He's like, I don't want to be in Paris. I want to be back working at the office. Do we think he's having an affair with his secretary?
Which one? Susan or the one we see later?
Yeah, the one who's like transcribing things in his office.
Yeah, because I'm like, who is this? We met Susan. Who the hell's this woman?
Yeah. He so much wants to be away from his wife, doesn't want to go to Europe. He wants to be back in his office.
Yeah, weird. But this is when it seems like Darrin learns that Endora was also with them in Paris. And that seems to be like where things kind of click. And again, Samantha tries to explain herself, right? When he's in his little drunken stupor and she can't get it out because he's his little pity party.
Right.
And so this is when he finds out that Endora is with them as well. And so I guess he kind of feels like, oh, maybe she kind of talked Samantha into going to Paris, right?
Yeah. And Larry asks him like, oh, you didn't know that Sam was still in Paris or that she was with Louise? And again, Larry's assuming that they're calling on the phone every day. Like that is that's expensive. That's an expensive thing to do.
But it's also helpful because it gives us some more like timing, because he says that and he's like, oh, we haven't spoken in a while, and he was like, oh, me and Louise are right, we knew y'all must have had a fight. So we learned it's been a few days since she poofed away in the windstorm, right? That it's been a few days, and the reason why Larry and Louise kind of put together that they had some kind of fight, right, was because of Samantha's behavior at dinner. And then also Louise tells him that she's never seen a girl working so hard to have a good time.
So basically she's been miserable.
Yeah. And of course Darrin's happy.
Yeah, he's like, oh, she does love me. She's not living La Dolce Vita because I'm not with her.
Yep. So yeah. So and then Darrin's like, yeah, because he's so excited, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to Paris. I'm gonna go
surprise her in Paris.
And he's like, I'll see you on Monday.
And he's like, well, you can't leave. It's our work day. And he's like, actually, I deserve a bonus because I did all of this work for you and I'm taking some time off. I'll see you on Monday. And he leaves. I'm like, you go, Darrin. Bring back romantic gestures also. Flying across the world to surprise your partner.
This is like Friends.
Oh, it is like Friends.
I hate Friends.
Okay.
We'll not be doing that podcast.
Be doing a Friends podcast.
No. But yeah, so he runs out the door and it shuts. And then cut again to Larry's office, which again kind of looks just like Darrin's office, but the couch is in a different place and Larry's name is on the door. And Larry is talking about the fashion show, and he's like dictating or whatever to another secretary, I guess, because I'm like, which one was which? I guess Susan is supposed to be Darrin's secretary that brought in the stuff earlier.
Okay.
And maybe this blonde lady is
his assistant,
his secretary or something. But her hair, the way it was like beehived and blonde, reminded me of Dolly Parton's early hair, which we're recording this on her 80th birthday. Happy birthday, Dolly. I'm sure you watch. We love you. But yeah, so he's like, she's taking notes. He's talking about the fashion show and everything.
And yeah, and it's just like he couldn't type this up or write this down himself.
No.
He had like how long of a plane ride to do this?
Did he pull out his laptop or his phone and type these notes out?
She's not doing that either. She's writing pen to paper.
Well, that's true.
So he could have definitely done that on the plane.
But that's her job.
That's so true. That's what he pays her for.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden he's doing that, and then the door opens and Samantha just walks on in. I'm like, okay, well, I guess if that's his secretary, there was nobody out there to be like, no, ma'am, he's in a meeting. Please stop. You can't.
You can't.
There
must be another way.
Yeah, so nobody there to stop her from barging in, and she immediately just interrupts. She's like, hi, Larry, like, have you seen Darrin? And
he goes to gesture like he's in his office. He's like, well, he must be. And then he's like, wait, you're here. He left for Paris an hour ago.
So we could see Bernard loves these little, I'm sure it has a name, this type of, just like Her in the Solitaire and then all these other things where they, don't remember something and then they're like, oh yeah,
they react and then they realize what is actually happening.
I love it. But yeah, so he's kind of shocked because he was like, Darrin just left to go to Paris, like, what are you doing?
And I thought I immediately thought, well, if he left for the airport an hour ago, we have no idea how far from LaGuardia their office is, but wouldn't she be able to just twitch her nose and end up at the airport and stop him at the airport if it was only an hour ago?
I don't know if they would go to LaGuardia though. Because LaGuardia is in New Jersey. They would go to the one in New York.
Oh, JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah, or JFK. Okay, so...
Look at me.
Look at you. No, you're near your airports around New York. Well, okay, I don't know how far JFK is from their building, but I did look it up, and because security screenings were virtually non-existent back in the 60s, you could show up to the airport 30 minutes or an hour before your flight and just walk on. Like you didn't have to get there 2 hours early, 3 hours for international.
And that's too when they just walked out on the on the thing tarmac. And walked up the little stairs.
Yeah.
But no, and come to find out though, Larry isn't that surprised. Like, he's surprised to see Samantha, but he immediately, what's the first thing he says? Is Louise with you? Like, he's just nervous that Louise is back too. And I was like, wow, Bernard really hates Louise.
I feel like this is more of an argument that he is cheating on his wife, and he's like, oh no, she's gonna see that I'm blah blah blah. Like, what if he had made plans that night to meet up with his little side piece?
Yeah, because if it's with his secretary, he was literally, Samantha caught him in the act of dictating.
Larry Tate dictating. Oh my God, you're a genius.
I try.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, he lets her know that Darrin literally just left to go to Paris, and she seems really happy because she's like, oh, that's romantic, right? Kind of thing. And she thank you, and shuts the door and everything. And she runs off and cut to the inside of a plane.
Oh, right. Yes.
With people on it, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden we see Samantha outside of the plane, poke her head, look through the windows, and then this woman sees her and immediately screams and and then faints on the guy's lap sitting beside
dramatic.
her. And Samantha's like, oh, not that one. And then she's cut back to the top of the airplane where Samantha and Endora are riding on top of the airplane.
They're sitting there so leisurely as if they are on a boat that is gliding on water going 30 miles per hour and not 500 miles per hour on an airplane.
A nice little gentle breeze.
Yes, floating through their hair. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's
but yeah, so we realize that she's been checking planes, and Endora's like, there are so many and I'm like, how many planes would really be going from New York to Paris that she would need to check?
Right?
Because Endora's like, there's so many, how are you gonna check them all? And I'm like, realistically,
right? Yeah, especially back in those days.
Yeah. Which is so cute. But either way, she's like, why don't we just go back to Paris and wait for him? Yeah. And Samantha spots another plane that she didn't check, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna check this one, and then if he's not on there, then we'll just go back to Paris and wait for him to arrive.
Yeah, she's like, okay. I know this might not make much sense to you, but I miss him so much. I want to see him right now as soon as possible. Yeah, it's cute.
And so, yeah, then we cut to the same plane, of course, interior, but it's a different plane. And then we see Darrin kind of laid back in the seat with his eyes closed, and Samantha's like kind of toward the, not up to him yet, and she's still looking through,
So, like, looks like she's just floating outside. Like, she doesn't even use, for all of their jokes about brooms and broomsticks, we never actually see them fly yet. We never actually see them fly on broomsticks yet. But we'll get there. And the gentle breeze has continued to just flutter her hair outside the window. Yeah. And she gets up and she's finally at his window and she's like tapping, like telling him to wake up. And then he wakes up and he like looks out and he like kind of like waves and then like goes back to sleep. And then he's like, Samantha, and he like
hits his head.
Yeah. And it's such a good moment too, because you can see like his hand hits the top, which is what makes the like loud sound. So he doesn't actually hit his head, but if you watch it so quick, it looks like he's hitting his head. It's so good.
Which again makes me think very quick movements like that of him jumping out of the seat. I immediately
of his back pain.
I immediately thought about his back pain. I'm like, oh, bless his heart, his back. So that's what I thought about. But yeah, so cute. And
the physical comedy is so good this episode. Yeah.
And then this is when the stewardess walks over. We never see her face. We just hear her voice. She has lines and she's like, oh, is everything okay? And he's like, my wife and all this. And she's like, clearly like, you're talking crazy. And he realizes it. And he's like, oh, sorry. I'm on my way to Paris to meet my wife. I'm excited. And she's like, okay, do you want your dinner now? And he's like, sure. And she walks away. Come to find out in the credits, stewardess is credited as being Raquel Welch, which is hilarious because we never see her face, which, she's known as a very beautiful woman. But I just thought that was interesting. But of course, this was definitely one of her early little forays into acting. So
for someone who doesn't know a lot of the older movie stars, and for anyone watching or listening who doesn't, who was Raquel Welch? Like, what was she famous for?
Movies.
Oh, okay, for being in different movies. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yes.
I hear that name and I'm like, oh, it could be a famous model, it could be a famous.
I think she did some modeling, but I did not do a mini ditty on Raquel Welch.
Sorry, I didn't say that to set you up for that. I was just wondering if you. I was just wondering if you knew off the dome of her like major credits.
I think maybe Airplane, or was that Karen Black? I don't know.
That's okay. We don't have to leave this in. I was just wondering. Yeah, and then Samantha, I guess, magics herself into the bathroom. So she like walks.
Well, no, not the bathroom, Madison. The lavatory.
Sorry, the lavatory.
It says lavatory.
And she exits and finds Darrin's room. And she like sits down next to him. And of course, he, as soon as the stewardess walked away, is like looking out the window and like freaking out, trying to see if he can find Sam. And so she sits down next to him and he like kind of like turns and like looks at her and then like turns back towards the window and then like realizes it's her. And again, the physical comedy of this episode is so good.
Hey, Madison, we haven't seen somebody in a while.
Yeah.
Named Gladys Kravitz.
Oh, yes.
Now, what do you think how would she react if she were to see Samantha outside of the window?
Probably be a little something like,
yeah.
Samantha Stevens.
Yeah,
something
so
like good. That.
Hopefully we'll see her soon. But yeah, so they're really happy and he doesn't seem mad. Like they both seem very happy to see each other. Of course, they kiss. And I was just so distracted this whole scene, right? Because, at least this set of an airplane, the seats are really big and far apart. And you can see between them the seat behind Darrin, and there's the seats like folded all the way down. And there's somebody, like I said, I think in episode 6, Darrin flip-flopping in the bed, and then looking back at it, I was like, he wasn't flip-flopping. I'm so dramatic. This person is literally flip-flopping in that seat. They are giving it their all.
Yeah.
They cannot get comfortable on that airplane seat. They're like, whoop, 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 whoop. And I'm just like, they're making up being so cute, and this person is just saying like, I got my screen time, honey. I'm not. I'm like doing it balls to the walls. Like,
yeah, right.
It's gonna be great. It was so good.
It's so good. And they're reconciling, and Samantha's saying, please try to understand how I feel. And he goes, I do understand, and you don't have to explain. I just want you to know how lucky I think I am. And I feel like it would be more interesting to see them have a genuine heart-to-heart and explain and talk out their feelings. But of course, this is the 60s.
But also, like, they're running out of time.
Yes. They're like, yeah, I got you, Bill. Moving on.
Same reason why, like, earlier is like, I have to cancel our dinner. She's like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
But yeah, so.
And then they have the sweetest line because she's like, oh, are you sure we don't just want to like head home? And he's like, how would we do that? And she's like, I could just magic us home, you know? And he's like, thanks, I've had enough. My nervous system has gone through enough today or something.
Yeah.
And then she says, I'm excited to see Paris for the first time. And he says, well, you've been to Paris lots of times. And she goes, being in Paris with someone you love is like seeing Paris for the first time. So cute. It's so cute. But it's so true, though. Like, you can go somewhere by yourself and experience it, but without someone to share it with and share in the ambiance and the feeling and the romanticism of a city like that.
Yeah.
So different with a partner.
Seeing it through their eyes, right? That's a lot of people say, like, one of the good things about having kids, right? Experiencing things again through their children's eyes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people with their partners, too, they want to show them the things that they like and, you know, all that stuff. So.
Experience it again through them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So very sweet. And then that's kind of where it ends. And then we go back to the top of the airplane.
Yeah.
And the beautiful Agnes Moorehead with her gorgeous witch robes flowing in the very gentle breeze from on top of the airplane. She is drinking some champagne or something and takes a sip, which also would not be in the glass.
No, it'd be
So
flying.
But she's a witch, so maybe she has like a little bubble
Force
around
field
them.
or something. Yeah.
And also it would mess up her wig and her hair.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Not the wig.
So she's up there and she looks into the camera, which I love. Another fourth wall break. And what does she say?
It's the only way to fly.
I did a little deep dive on why she says that, because I'd never heard that before, and we had assumed it was some reference to something.
Yeah. And come to find out it was.
Come to find out. It was in reference to the tagline of Western Airlines, which now does not exist anymore.
Are you sure? That's what I flew home. Western Airlines.
It was
sure?
enveloped by Delta Airlines in 1986.
Maybe I went back in time.
Let me look this up real quick.
No, I flew Alaska.
Oh my God, I was like, am I incorrect? I'm like, maybe I didn't read all the way down on the article. Oh my God, I believed it. I'm too gullible, you guys. I'm trusting, way too trusting.
I'm just a really good actor.
Oh yes, you're just a really good actor.
From my years in the theater.
I'm just too ready to believe I'm wrong. In any situation, I'm so ready to be like, you're right.
But you know what? And that's the things we talk about in this podcast, you know? It's because of the societal, generational, whatever, saying that because you're a woman, that a man is right and you're wrong.
That's so true. Even in conversations with women, though, I will still be like, you're right and I'm
We're
wrong.
getting into the deep stuff.
We are, yeah. Thank you.
You're
I'll
welcome.
send you my bill for this therapy session.
Yeah, and I'm also a man telling you
yes,
what's right and what's wrong.
Anyway, okay, so a little minute, Diddy. You got your swimsuit on? Ready to
Yes.
do a little jumpies from the diving board?
I'm not doing a flip though. And also cannonballs, because like I feel like last time I did a cannonball, like, you know, your bottom half goes in first. But I feel like when the way that the water like hits this part first, that all of a sudden it just hits your head. And then I got water in my ears immediately, and it kind of made me that ringing noise. I was like, oh, I'm never doing a cannonball again. You ever experienced that?
Yeah, I'm sure I did last time I did a cannonball when I was like 8. It's been a minute.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have perfect form and I dive now.
Some people do cannonballs when they're older than 8, you know, and that's okay.
That's true. And I love that for you. I'm staying far away from you at the pool, though, because I don't want to get splashed by that.
Oh, okay.
Western Airlines. In 1925, the United States Postal Service, they gave airlines contracts to carry mail throughout the country. So Western Airlines was one of the first to be contracted, then called Western Air Express.
Well, and you know what they say. It's the only way to fly
your mail to your relatives who lived across the country.
Yes.
And then they began flying passengers a year later in 1926. And a little tidbit here. In 1957, the airline's president, Terry Drinkwater, I'll turn this, I didn't originally have this as a trivia question, but I'm going to turn it into one for you.
Drinkwater?
Yes, Terry Drinkwater.
What if it's like drink milk?
Terry Drink Milk. A walking advertisement.
Yeah.
He got into an argument with a certain U.S. president who was urging him to buy American-made aircrafts. Was this president Dwight D. Eisenhower, Harry S. Truman, or JFK?
It has to be Eisenhower.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Eisenhower.
He just seems like the one that would get into arguments.
Yeah, right? Yes. Famously, when Eisenhower was urging him to purchase American-made products, Drinkwater responded, "Mr. President, you run your country and let me run my airline." And that was a big mistake, because for years after that, Western was never awarded new routes, while its competitors, United and American Airlines, grew and grew and grew, greatly surpassing what Western could ever offer.
Isn't that interesting? You know, a president that would do something like that,
right?
You know, we just haven't seen anything since.
Yeah, we just haven't.
Little petty bullshit.
Yeah, trying to control people and their choices under their jurisdiction. They were hired to do a certain job, and I guess he just decided that he knew better. But you know what the interesting thing is? They fell out of grace, and they, you know, Western Airlines wasn't able to accomplish a lot of things, and they kind of fell behind. But they had American-made planes, while its competitors included aircrafts that were produced in Europe. So they had a whole fleet of American planes, and they still were being, you know, attacked.
Imagine that.
Right?
He didn't have all of the information.
Yeah, he just took an ego hit and decided that he hated them and they should never succeed. Sipping my tea. So they still fought on for another, you know, couple of decades, but they eventually merged with Delta in 1986.
Nice.
But yes, their tagline was, "It's the only way to fly." And that's what Endora's quoting.
So one could say that's the official airline of Bewitched.
Yes, one could say that. One could say that indeed.
Oh, well, good. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I thought we could do a little trainsies. Like, I would give you a little mini ditty, and then you would give me something much more in-depth and fun.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that. This one is pretty short, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
But I have a little deep dive into the actress that plays Louise.
Yay.
Or Louise #1. So her name was Irene Vernon. And she was born on January 16th, 1922 in Mishawaka, Indiana.
Mishawaka.
Mishawaka. Misharuna.
Mishawaka, Misharuna.
Yeah.
Mishaskippa.
Mishajaga. Stupid. But yeah, so after graduating from high school, she moved to New York with a dream to become an actress. Wow. As we all do.
Right.
She landed a few uncredited movie roles during the 40s and moved into TV in the 50s. In 1944, she married Army Major Edward Dowling in New Jersey. And we have another Judy connection. Okay. So, this is kind of trivia, but I changed it up. So, 2 truths and a lie.
Okay, fun.
All right. So, Irene Vernon was in Till the Clouds Roll By, The Pirate, and A Star is Born.
Okay. Oh, so 2 of those are truths and 1 of them is a lie?
Yeah.
Okay, well, A Star is Born has... I know that Judy was in the original. No?
The second iteration.
Oh, my God. Oh, is this the second iteration that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Because
Judy is in that one.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that this last one with Gaga was the 3rd iteration.
No, it's the 4th. It is 38, 54, 76, and then 2018.
Wow.
Barbara.
I haven't seen
Gaga.
any of them, actually. Anyway, wow. Well, I do know because when it came out, I had some guests at the restaurant I was working at. They were like, "Oh, Judy Garland did it the best."
Well, they like did a whole thing when Gaga's version came out, and everybody like it was like a done thing that they're like, oh, okay, even after watching this, like Judy Garland's version is the best version, even though the studios hacked it to pieces.
Yeah.
Damn. But either way, even with all those cuts, it's still the best version. So.
Yeah, talent speaks. Okay, wait. So A Star is Born. What were the other 2?
Till the Clouds Roll By, The Pirate, and A Star is Born.
I don't think she was in The Pirate.
Wrong. That's the lie. Yes. So she was an extra in 2 of Judy's movies. And she was an extra in Till the Clouds Roll By and The Pirate.
Oh, so she wasn't in A Star is Born.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. And by that point, anyway, she was already doing television. So.
I see.
But yeah, and so, of course, Irene is most known for her role as Louise Tate on Bewitched, and she left in 1966. Here is a little mystery. If y'all know more about this, please let me know. But I really couldn't find much of anything. So yeah, the reason given was that her husband was sick and that she had to leave the show to take care of him, of course, to be a good wife. But rumor has it that she was asked to leave by not only William Asher, but Elizabeth Montgomery as well. So, Danny Arnold, you know, who we talked about earlier, that was the producer and wrote a few episodes. He left after season 1.
Okay.
From disagreements with William Asher and a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, he left at the end of season 1, and come to find out, her and Danny Arnold were close, like friends, and they wanted her gone as well because of that connection, supposedly.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And so that's like kind of whatever, like I couldn't find any other like reasons. But that's kind of the thing, is that they're like, oh, you two are best friends, like go away. We don't want you here.
Yeah, I wonder if she shared some of the opinions that Danny Arnold shared.
Yeah.
And they just didn't want to have that continued negativity on set if it contradicted with what William Asher and Elizabeth wanted.
Exactly. Like maybe about like stuff that they were doing right, like how the set was being run or something. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either way, Casey Rogers, who was the second Louise, she swears she doesn't know why Irene left. But either way, it was really cute. It was this little interview that she had done before she passed away. But she was saying that how wonderful it was because they never spoke, because she had left before, like whatever, like she came on and it wasn't like they passed each other or anything. So she had came on the show and was so grateful for it, for her career, you know, because apparently she was on Peyton Place, and they did what she say they did like 3, like it was a crazy schedule on Peyton Place, and so she was very grateful to get the role on Bewitched because it was a little more laid back. She wasn't in every single scene and everything, but she was just saying that she eventually, like thinking about it, she was like, I want to reach out to this woman that also played Louise, and so she did in the 90s. And so Irene answered the phone. She's like, hello, and she was like, oh, is this Louise Tate? And she like paused and she was like, yes, it is. And so then they started talking, and it was really sweet. Like she said, being able to talk about their experiences and Louise and everything. But yeah, she still swears up and down she doesn't know why she left the show. Girl, that would have been the first thing I asked her.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, so what happened?
Yeah, tell me all the tea. It's been a long time. They're all dead. What happened? But yeah, so maybe we'll never know. We'll have to ask David.
Yes, David. Do you have the tea?
Maybe it's further on, like when she actually leaves. Maybe he like says something about it. But either way, but yeah, after that, Irene quit acting after she left Bewitched. And she passed away on April 21st, 1998 in South Bend, Indiana, of congestive heart failure and coronary artery disease. She was 76 years old.
Oh. Wow.
So yeah, very short, unfortunately. Yeah, I hope she was happy. I guess that experience kind of turned her off of acting. And it's to say she married again. I guess her previous husband passed away, but she married again in the 90s as well.
Good.
But yeah, they were together until they both passed away. So
she found love again.
She did, and she her body came back home in Indiana and everything as well. Like I guess to the family cemetery. So
good.
But yeah,
not a cancer death.
No, but still crazy. I'm like, dang, that's bad.
Yeah, no bueno. Well, thank you.
Well, of course.
Thank you for the deep dive.
No problem.
Yay. We never know how to end these things.
What did you think of the episode?
I liked the episode. I think it's hard not to like it. It's with all the different sets and all the different hijinks and all of the physical comedy that's included. I thought it was a really good one. Maybe it had some of the best pacing so far, I feel like, because in the Girl Reporter episode, I feel like there was a lot of unnecessary moments or moments when you wondered, like, or just like frustration at the way the characters are handling it.
Yeah.
And I felt like this episode, it all worked out the way it was supposed to. Like even when Darrin is drunk and feeling sorry for himself, it's never so ridiculous. He's never saying anything that's horribly offensive or hurtful. He's just having a little pity party.
I feel like he has before, like in episode 3 or something, where he does say these hurtful things and not believe her. You know, you're just a wife, he's a livelihood, right? And then for her later to just still again be like, oh, I love you, everything's okay, right? Da-dee-da. And for this to be like, oh, okay, like I see why they would be able to make up so quickly, right?
And any episode that has Endora in it, I'm like, yes, we love it.
Yeah,
we love her.
Multiple different outfits too.
Yeah. It's like a treat.
Paper doll collection, you know, which they did make. It's on eBay. You can get the Samantha Stevens paper doll with her different outfits and
stuff. I
so
love
cute.
this. Yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to next episode. Do you remember this next one? Are you excited for it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, I just remember what it was.
Okay. I feel like normally at the end we'll be like, all right, we'll see you next time, and then you'll say something on like, it's a good one or it's not a good one.
Yes, no, this one, the next episode is incredible. You're gonna love it. I don't know who wrote it, but hopefully it's Bernard again because I love him. But either way, it's such a blast, and we're gonna have a really good time. So.
Yay!
So make sure that y'all tune in on YouTube or wherever you listen to the show, because we're having a lot of fun, and we hope y'all are as well.
Make sure to like and subscribe. So My Wife's a Witch, and on social media we are at Bewitched Deep Dive. So you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on TikTok if you're on the TikTok. We are going to be posting more on social media in 2026, so look forward to that.
And then also let us know what you want to see more of, whether that's any suggestions within this show or on social media. And again, your comments, if you want us, like we had talked about before, any fun memories and things growing up watching the show and what it means to you, we would still really like to hear that as well. So
I love it. Yes. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Yes. Until then, y'all have a wonderful week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So my wife's a witch. Every married man has to make some adjustment.